What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with my beautiful co-host. He is back, Soapy Muffin.
You make it sound like I left.
Well, I mean, I knew exactly what had happened, or I thought I knew what had happened. I missed you. I missed you for the live reaction show, for the PS5 Showcase. So that's why I threw in there the he's back. But he was here yesterday. So if you're watching Games Live, you're like, Ricky, Soapy wasn't missing. But yeah, today Games Live is easy. The PS5 had a showcase. It ended about a half hour ago, something around there. And Soapy and I are going to talk about the shit that went down. It was an amazing show. I am hyped for 99.9% of the things that they had showed. We're going to do some of it out of order. And I only say that because obviously we got to talk about the biggest thing first. But Soapy, before we get into everything, a little bit of housekeeping here. Number one is patreon.com/MVP-vids. If you want to help support the channel, you want to make sure we can keep making these videos, make more videos, keep doing, make that production value go up. That is how you help support us. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, however you want to support us. You get things like access to the voice channels in Discord, content a week early. You get to interact with the live show, stuff like that. And thank you to our Patreon supporters and Patreon sponsors, Pat Hill and Philly Sean. Also, the Discord, I mentioned it. You can go ahead and join it for free. That link down below in the description. Or if you're on Twitch, !Discord gets you that Discord link. And then last but not least, we're on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids. We're here every Monday through Friday. And we're also reacting to stuff like we did for the PS5 Showcase. But then we're also on YouTube, MVP Entertainment. Go ahead and check us out there. It is a great time as well. But Soapy, the PS5 Showcase is here. The PS5 Showcase has left. And there's a lot of games we're going to talk about that they showed. But the first thing we have to talk about, Soapy, is that we finally have a price for our PlayStations. Not just a price, but we also have a date. So if you did miss it, the PS5, the non-digital version, the one that will have the disc drive, is going to be $499.99. So basically $500 like we had thought for the PS5. The digital edition, that's not going to have the disc drive. That's the only thing that is different about it. It's going to be $100 less. It is going to be $400. So Soapy, your thoughts on, basically it's just your thoughts on that. It's also coming out, the date for most places, November 12th. So 2 days after the Xbox, we will be getting PlayStation 5s into our hands. What are your thoughts about this, Soapy? Or was this kind of like, okay, this is kind of what we expected?
I mean, this is basically what we expected. The pricing doesn't really surprise me because I didn't think they were going to stoop down low enough to match the S. I knew they were going to match the X, and it doesn't surprise me that they had a console for $400. So there's that. Obviously, I know some people are probably going to be surprised that apparently the disc drive is $100, but it also shouldn't surprise people because you got to milk the people who are willing to buy physical games as much as you can.
Yeah, and that's I was talking to you kind of before we talked of I was almost like, which one do I get? Because here's my now basically therapy session for the millions and millions out there watching at home, is basically, so the conundrum I'm in is most of the games that I've played, I have not bought a physical copy since Kingdom Hearts came out, and that was January of 2019. So there's a part of me that's all I play is digital games on my PlayStation. There's not many physical games that I even use my PlayStation for. Why would I go ahead and buy the physical? But then there's that thought in the back of your head, where you're like, but what if? What if you can't download it and you have to buy a physical one? What if something happens and somebody gives you the physical version of the game because they bought it for you? Oh, what? I can't play this because I don't have a PlayStation disc drive. There's things that are in the back of my head of how important is that disc drive? And for me, I am leaning towards the digital hardcore because all I play is digital games. Plus, people don't buy me games anymore. They just say, hey, I don't know what you want. Here's cash to buy whatever you want to buy. So, like, for me, I think I'm going to go with the digital only because, like, I've said this before on the show is that I think we are headed towards a digital age. And I think that PlayStation is actually saying, hey, we are going to move into that digital age, even if it's kind of like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like you said, you got to milk the physical people. You have to milk those people that are like, I want to buy a physical game, because that means you're going to make $100 more off of that PlayStation than you are for the digital. But yeah, I think I am going to get a digital. I am pumped that it comes out November 12th. I don't think there's a big like the thing we were kind of debating before the whole thing of like when do they put the date out. I don't think November 12th hurts them that it comes out 2 days after the Xbox, because it's right around the same time. Obviously they were not going to pick the same exact date, even though we had thrown that out there, but it's nice now to have a date. Here's when the PlayStation's going to come out. This is what the price is going to be. And now I can't wait for pre-orders. I've already, beforehand, PlayStation sent me an email. I put in my PSN. I am on their list. Hopefully I get to be one of the first people to pre-order a PlayStation. I am saying this out loud because hopefully someone at PlayStation sees this and they go, oh, he's an influencer. He needs a PlayStation. You're right. I do. I need a PlayStation 5. So if you can get me one, then talk to Microsoft and get Soapy a Xbox Series X to be pre-ordered, like that'd be great. That'd be amazing. Oh, if we could be the first to pre-order those consoles, like I'd be a happy camper.
I mean, hey, all I gotta do is wait till the 22nd and like finance my console.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Because you can go that route and do the Game Pass thing. I forgot about that. But Soapy, we had a ton of games kind of released, I'll say. Released, shown off. These we will go in order. The first one, they started off proper. The interesting thing with this was the only game that before the trailer, they said that the following content is on a PC emulating the PS5, so it wasn't on a PS5 and wasn't taken from that gameplay. But what we saw, Final Fantasy 16, the Awakening trailer. Soapy, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on we finally get Final Fantasy 16, something that fans have been asking for quite a long time?
We saw people riding a goddamn chocobo, and then we were supposed to be intimidated by it, but I'm not gonna lie. That was the least intimidating thing I've seen in my entire life.
So why? Why is the chocobo not intimidating in your mind?
It's just a giant chicken. Like, dude, I understand
being a horse
and all that, dude. It's fucking bigger than a chocobo.
Okay, I guess you're right. I don't know the dimensions of a chocobo.
Chocobos aren't that the whole thing is the chocobo is about the same height as the character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. They're just as vertically tall. Otherwise, they literally are the same proportion as a chicken.
Okay. All right. Didn't know that there was man, chocobos shouldn't be scared of them.
Well, because chocobos are just chickens.
I love.
The rest of the game.
Though.
Yeah, everything else in the trailer kind of just fit with Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer didn't really blow me away. It's okay, every Final Fantasy trailer, we see the chocobo at least once.
Yes.
We see some big monster.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they stepped it up a little bit and put 2 big monsters.
It's a PlayStation 5, man. You gotta step it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Next gen, we really gotta step it up now. We're making games like Final Fantasy that have come out 4 million goddamn times.
Mm-hmm.
We're really gonna make them have to try their hardest
now
to include two of those in a cinematic trailer.
I'm gonna ask this question because I'll be completely honest. Final Fantasy 15, I did not get into. I did not buy it. Did not play it. I saw the people kind of reacting, about it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna step out of this. This Final Fantasy. Soapy, do you know, or does chat know, the combat style that we saw in this trailer for Final Fantasy 16? It reminded me a lot of what we saw for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's like we're making more combat in this Final Fantasy game more like a free-flowing combat system and not the traditional like turn-based that Final Fantasy has always been. Was Final Fantasy 15 in the same combat style?
Was 15 the one where they drove around in a car?
I think so.
Yeah, then it was the same style.
Okay, because like there's a part of me that's like, okay, I like it because it reminds me of what I saw with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but also at the same time, it's like, holy shit, this is I can't remember the last time we saw Final Fantasy, if ever, a Final Fantasy game in a medieval setting. Have we ever had a Final Fantasy game in a medieval setting?
I mean, there's 15 other games, Home Dog. I ain't gonna have no idea.
I mean, to me, it's interesting. Medieval setting, Final Fantasy, backstory to it. At the end, they show the young guy that was obviously the young guy that they said was supposed to be protecting the young prince that turns into like this big demon because the phoenix rises out of him, X-Men reference. He then turns into the guy that we saw at the beginning with the symbol tattooed on his face, longer black hair. I can't wait for this. I can't wait to see what a Final Fantasy world kind of looks like in a medieval setting. And it was a great way to start the showcase proper. Come out with it. Boom. Punch us in the mouth. Here's Final Fantasy 16. You've been waiting on it forever. And then they segued right into what I thought they were going to show. I thought they were going to give a date for it. They did not. Still says holiday 2020. I guess they didn't have to give us a date, but I thought it would be special if they did. But Miles Morales was next. And with this one, Soapy, because I'm more of the Spider-Man guy, I'll kind of take this one first. It looked phenomenal. Like this game, I said it numerous times in the reaction, kind of just the thought of, yes, it looks exactly like there are things different. Like the Miles Morales suit had a better shine to it, especially like the red on the shoulders was really fucking shiny. Combat-wise, gameplay-wise, though, it was almost exactly like the first one. But like I said in the live reactions, when you got a perfect product, you don't have to change much. Like, this wasn't something where Insomniac was like, oh, we have to retweak most things about it. Like, they had a great game in the first one to where they have that great base to where basically all of this was, what am I going to get from the story? And the thing that we did learn about this is that, I guess with the story, Miles Morales' mother is kind of walking away from teaching. She's now running for mayor, I think they said. So she's going to be in a mayoral race. And there's a tech company called Rexon, I think they said, or Raycon or something like that. And it's basically a turf war between them and the Underground. And the Underground is led by the Tinkerer, where we kind of saw the Tinkerer a little bit in Spider-Man Homecoming. Usually a super villain that like basically tinkers and is a real gadget-focused character. Usually makes this high-end gadgetry like weapons and stuff for goons to use. And we got to see Miles Morales save a bunch of people from the Tinkerer and kind of the like aftermath that happens there. I am pumped for this game. They could have showed nothing, and I'm still pumped for it. But this game looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be just as good as the Spider-Man 1. And just, I can't wait for it. I seriously cannot wait to play as Miles Morales this holiday season.
Yeah, and I mean, and I don't want to sound like Debbie Downer in it. I mean, it could just be because I'm tired.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance of that. But, like, watching it, I'm like, okay, I'm like, that looks fine. But, like, personally to me, and I think I've said it before, it's none of PlayStation's exclusives would sway me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of stayed the same. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Spider-Man fan. So, obviously, this wasn't going to really do anything for me. But, like, the game looks good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to act like... I'm not going to be one of the people that, like, oh, if I don't like the exclusive, it's bad. Like, because I understand, like, this is probably going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't my cup of tea. But... I mean, it looked good. I only saw a little bit of it because I was kind of pressed because I tried to get through all the things. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that like they kind of stuck with the same thing because, like you said, when you have a tried and true formula, there's no reason to switch it up.
Yeah,
You
like
don't need to. You don't need to try to like spice it up and make it a new game.
yeah, it's going to be a good game. Can't wait for it. Holiday season. Moving kind of along though, and a lot of these with this is going to be. There are going to be some we have a lot to say, some we don't have a lot to say. And that's just one where it's like it was nice to see some gameplay from it and know that, hey, we're going to give you the same great product that we gave you with the first Spider-Man game. But the next thing they showed, Soapy, was something I did not expect to see. I remember, and I'm going to look it up here really quick. Dave and I actually on a very, 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 very old. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. Too old to game Harry Potter. Really, YouTube? You're not going to pull up my own video, huh? You're not even going to pull it up. MVP Sports. There it is. So Dave and I a year ago, talked about a potentially leaked Harry Potter game. This was October 6th of 2018. 2 years, almost 2 years to the day we talked about this. And we had talked about what we would have wanted to see from a Harry Potter game. And now we are getting the first kind of trailer for a game called Hogwarts Legacy. And kind of from what they showed, it's they didn't show a creation process, but the thing that I was kind of thinking from this and what I got from it is it sounds like you're going to be creating your own wizard. Game is going to be taking place in the late 1800s because it says Hogwarts late 1800s when it looks like your character shows up. And it looks like basically there will be a story, but you're kind of going through that as your own wizard. You go through it looked like they showed you go through the Sorting Hat and it puts you into a house. They showed you I think it was Hufflepuff and a little bit of Slytherin people. And they said you'll be able to make your own choices. You'll be able to write your own story in a way. And this was something that when I saw it, Harry Potter to me, it's not like Spider-Man to where I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. I'm going to get it. Harry Potter I've liked, but I'm not like a super fan for Harry Potter. But this for me is it's an interesting style to where I'm like, I want to check this out, even though I'm not a Harry Potter super fan. Did this do anything for you, Soapy? Are you just sitting there going, it's a Harry Potter game. If you like Harry Potter, you'll like it. But is it for you?
The only thing in this entire game that would be for me is that it's an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I have been very notorious to not like Harry Potter. And it's not just because of my whole stance with J.K. Rowling.
I was going to say, is it because of just that?
No, I've just never liked Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm going to sound like I hate everything out of nowhere. I realized, like, my first couple weeks on the podcast, dude, I'm like, man, everything's good. Mm-hmm. And just out of nowhere, I hit the switch of, no, this is boring. Everything's boring. I hate it all.
Soapy's like, fuck gaming. I'm done with gaming. But yeah, it's just like, for me, though, I'll ask you this, because this, I think, will be a contention between some Harry Potter fans. Do you think it's good that they went the RPG route where you're playing as your own character? Like, we don't know if you get to create your own or if it's basically like, hey, you get to choose the basics, like girl, guy, color skin, like that stuff, or how in depth you get to go. Are you excited that is it better they went that route, or should they have gone with you're playing a story as Harry Potter, as Ron, as Hermione, and go through the way kind of like what we've seen with other games?
I mean, we've already seen that other style of game of, like, you play as Harry and Ron a million times.
Good point.
And the whole thing is, it's the Harry Potter world is so fleshed out because, for instance, if I remember correctly, and obviously I'm probably wrong, there's a very good chance.
This guy will correct you.
No, I think it's Fantastic Beasts was also made by J.K. Rowling, right? And they're technically set in the same world.
Yep, Harry Potter universe.
Yeah, so I feel like you could probably have it that it's, oh, with this one it kind of mixes both.
Mm-hmm.
Because with like the Harry Potter series, or if you have to just play as Harry, Ron, or any of the main characters, it's
Mm-hmm.
like we've already experienced this before, and also no Harry Potter game will ever pass Lego Harry Potter. So you may
Yeah.
as well just already go into a different vein.
And Twitch chat's kind of agreeing with you, Soapy, where this guy in Twitch chat who is pumped about this game said it's what we've always wanted. That and a school sim like Bully. He says using known characters handcuffs what they can do. It's 1,000 years before Harry Potter. Plenty of stories you can fit into it and not break the canon. So, like, for me, I'm probably going to check it out because, like I said, Harry Potter's been one where I've watched most of the movies. I know that I'm going to probably have to tell Brandon Swanson about this because Brandon Swanson is a huge Harry Potter super fan. But yeah, it's tickled my interest, if I'd say that, because usually, like you, Soapy, the RPG games kind of get me going in a sense. Then we move over. The very next thing that they showed and talked about was Call of Duty. And what we saw here was a snippet of the first campaign mission. You're in Turkey. It looks like you're going to assassinate a guy. You go up. Hey, is it him? You're looking through the binoculars. You go to take the sniper shot. You miss. You hit the guy in front of him. And then a car chase ensues. It's like the gameplay of and everything. I was watching it and I won't lie. And the thought in my head was like, not like outside, I'm saying this is dope. This looks great. But in my head, I'm thinking it's the Call of Duty game. Like, it's almost like the Spider-Man of like, I'm not expecting them to reinvent the wheel. It looks the same. Shoot, shoot, boom, boom. Things flying at you. Graphics looked amazing, which I think is the biggest takeaway from most of these. And then the biggest drop they had, Soapy, at the end of it was they announced that PlayStation players this weekend, the 18th through the 20th, starting tomorrow on the 17th, will be able to download it on PlayStation 4 and be able to play from the 18th to the 20th the Black Ops Cold War Alpha multiplayer. So PlayStation peeps getting the first kind of look at the multiplayer right now. Soapy, what is your thoughts kind of either on the early access to the alpha, kind of giving it exclusively to PlayStation people? And with this campaign, is it bad that Call of Duty's not reinventing the wheel at all? And it just kind of looks like a better graphic Call of Duty.
I mean, I can touch on both.
Go ahead.
I didn't watch that trailer, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I can predict in the car chase at some point your car ends up flipping.
Yes.
I almost 100%. Yep. Wow, look at that. I didn't have to fucking watch it to know that happens.
So what happened?
It's almost like I know Call of Duty well enough.
What happened at the end is they're like, Mason, the RC car, and they put out an RC car. You go ahead and drive it, and your goal is to like weave through everything in order to take out the landing gear. You blow up the landing gear. The plane kind of cars crash into you. At the end, your car gets hit, like sideswiped by another. They go over the wing. They dive. Your car, I'm watching it now, kind of spins out, topples over. Your guy is on the ground. The last thing we see is him look up, and the entire plane wing comes down on top of you. And I even said after that happened, I'm like, is this going to be something like, I think it was Advanced Warfare, where the first mission of that campaign, it was either yourself, I think it was yourself, but it might have been like the NPC you were with, where it's like something fell on you, and it's like you put out your hand and the guy went to drag you and your legs didn't come with you, or like they didn't come with him. I can't remember which it was. I'm like, is that going to be a situation?
Are you talking about with Advanced Warfare?
Yeah.
Because Advanced Warfare, the way that they explain how you lose your arm is there was a bomb and you were trying to disable it, but it was it was basically you and the NPC were trying to get the bomb open.
Yeah, it was the first campaign mission. And then, like, he
Yeah,
goes to drag you away,
to, like,
and it doesn't come with you.
Well, no, because what happened was when you were disabling the bomb, the door closed on his arm,
Good
and you
point.
tried to pull him.
Yeah.
But what he did was basically the bomb started fucking lifting up, and he yeeted you off, and then he blew up.
Okay.
Because that's where the press F to pay respects come from.
Okay. Because I just remember, because that was the only mission I played of that game, where it was like the very end of it.
I think you're thinking of... I don't remember what game it was, but there's one of the campaigns you start off where they basically say you just got ganged up on by robots and they break your legs.
No, it wasn't that. Because the ending scene was, I remember the car door, now that you say it, and the very end of the mission was you, like, get dragged away. And, like, as you're getting dragged away, it's like, because I remember I was like, my arm's not moving. Why is my arm not moving? Why is it sitting there? I'm pretty sure I'm thinking Advanced Warfare. But basically...
It's one of the futuristic ones.
My point is, I was assuming the same thing. The plane falls, and you're like gonna Mason's gonna live, but it's gonna be like his legs amputated or something.
The only reason I don't think that is because Mason shows up in the later game, or I think it's Black Ops 2, he shows up. And obviously, unless they're about to absolutely just fucking say continuity doesn't exist anymore. Because if they go with that, then Black Ops 2 story doesn't fucking matter if you do the actual good ending of it, where Mason's alive. Because Mason walks in fucking fine and dandy. Oh yeah, sure, let me... Spoiler alert for like a fucking 11-year-old game.
Oh, how old is Black Ops 2? Is it 11 years?
Old as fuck. Old as fuck, dude.
Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is about 8 years. Came out November 12th, 2012.
Okay. Yeah, basically 11 by this point. It's gonna stay as 11.
Okay, it's an 11-year-old game, as Soapy said. Yeah, but like...
Yeah, even though it's only 8.
It looked dope. It looked cool. PlayStation graphics are the best. The thing on Twitter I kept saying was like, man, next gen looks really, really, really good. From what we saw,
dude,
fucking
it's almost
PlayStation
like we're getting
and
fucking
Xbox.
native 4K now.
Yeah, it's like, it's fucking dope. I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. But it's also dope that PlayStation players get to play the multiplayer before anyone else. Yeah, I know it's alpha. I know it's just one weekend. But it's cool that we get to dive into that.
Imagine wanting to play alpha.
Like,
I'm just saying, dude, I'd rather play beta. Well, because the whole thing is with alpha. Alpha's going to be a shit show.
I think we get both.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if beta also comes out on Xbox.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fucking awesome. Excited for multiplayer. The next one they showed, it wasn't really... They didn't put it on their YouTube channel, Soapy, so I'll just explain to it what we saw. It was Deathloop. But the thing is, it's like with this game, everything I see of it, I go, okay, you keep telling me what it is, but until I actually like get my hands on it and play it, I'm not going to have a good sense of it. And this trailer, they actually showed us something to where I was like, oh, okay, now I understand some things. So basically they keep saying in every trailer for Deathloop, that you've got to kill these 8 people. And every time you die, you're learning something that helps you piece together the puzzle to kill all 8 of them. And the thing they kind of like played into was they're like, well, this guy's over here and this guy's all the way over here. But if I go and kill him now, there's no way I'm going to be able to get over to the other guy to kill him by midnight, because all 8 of these people have to die by midnight. So what they kind of said in this trailer is like, okay, this guy gets an invitation to the other guy's party, but he never goes. Every single day, never goes, because he's a scientist, and every morning he has a discovery. So it's like, okay, in order to get him to the party, which he has an invitation to but doesn't go to, you basically have to go in, you have to sabotage his experiment so that he doesn't make that discovery. So that he's not excited, he's actually sad, and instead of having something to do, he goes to the party, and then that way you can go to the party yourself and kill both of the targets. They said it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. So like for me,
so this just sounds like really elaborate Hitman.
Kind of. And it was like, I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, that is a fucking cool, like, aspect of it. I said it out loud because I was recording. I say, anytime I say to myself, out loud because I was doing a live reaction. But, like, my thought process was like, holy shit. Like, you actually have to go in and be like, okay, fucking died there. What do I have to do to get these together? And this guy says it just sounds repetitive. I think that's the point of it. The point is it's supposed to be repetitive. And if that turns you off, then maybe this game won't be for you.
Yeah. I mean, the game's literally called Deathloop. Like, it would not surprise me if
it wasn't
a situation
repetitive.
like that. Yeah. Well, because it'd be kind of weird if it was called Deathloop and it was just normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just like, it's a different thing that we haven't thought about before. Like, I didn't think about that where it's like, all right, I have to go in, I've got to do this in order to kind of put these chain effects into action. I wonder what else with that. How many things of like, and the only thing that might get super repetitive is, oh, fuck, I died. All right, now I got to do this again, to do this again, to do that again. And like, how far is it going to take you to get back to the point you were? You know where I'm saying? Where I wonder how many people are going to go, nope, fuck this, and kind of put it down, depending on like how far back it takes you and how much time it takes to go through all the steps to get back to where you were with it. But I thought it was kind of interesting. Can't wait for it. Q2 of 2021. We've kind of talked about that as that game got delayed. The next thing we saw, Resident Evil Village, another kind of cinematic trailer. Soapy, I know what you think of cinematic trailers. And with this one, I have a weird theory for Resident Evil Village. I had to take a drink because I was getting a little scratchy at the back of my throat. But in this trailer and in the one they showed before the showcase, because they showed the old trailer, there's a point in it where a mom is reading a story to a little girl. And the dad goes, why are you reading her that story? And she goes, oh, it's just a scary story. Earlier in the trailer, there was an old woman that was like she's supposed to be the creepy old woman that kind of is, it kind of sounds like she's speaking nonsense, but probably at the end of the game, we're going to be like, oh shit, she was actually, like, we should have focused on what she was saying. I have a theory, and I don't know if this is a ground-shaking theory, it's just what I thought. I have a weird thought that the mother telling the story is not just a story, it is true, and she is a descendant of this old woman, and that story is actually a true event that happened with this village, and it's going to play into the story that way. Like, that's just a weird, like, little theory I have about the story, because otherwise we still don't know anything about this game and what's going to happen in this village.
I mean, yeah, that's not really like a super groundbreaking theory. It's kind of piecing together what you know from the trailer.
I know, man. Using that one big wrinkle I got. Sometimes it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it's the whole thing that just makes me wonder is, obviously this is going to probably be the same style as Resident Evil Biohazard. I think it was Biohazard the one where they had like that mansion?
Yeah, with the family.
Or not? Yeah. So if they kind of do the same thing as that, I almost wonder if they're gonna try to do the whole like, oh, you know, there's bigger powers at play here. Because with that one, it was, oh, the family's a problem, but then there's also just that weird fucking guy who lives there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like personally for me, that was the thing. Excuse me, that Biohazard kind of like I took away from it was like, so who was the more important bad guy? The guy who kept putting me in that stupid fucking tiny room, or the family? Yeah. Because like obviously I murdered the family, and I think you probably ended up murdering that guy at the end of the game. But like, then they introduced the little girl that was basically the character from The Ring, and it's like, okay, you're introducing too many concepts here, home dog.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stick to one. Are you focusing on the family, weird guy, or baby?
Yeah,
You gotta make up your mind here.
and the thing from the trailer I did not really understand is at the very end, they showed this weird guy. He kind of reminded me of the Penguin, long nose, kind of stout guy, and he's smoking a cigar. And he says the line along the lines of like, if window shopping is what you're here for, then it shouldn't be a problem. And then it cuts. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Who is this guy? What's going on? To where I'm like, I don't know if that's something else, like a little thing they're throwing out there to where it's like, it has meaning, but we don't know what the meaning is of it. Probably that is the case, but it was like, I just saw that and I was like, they're hitting me with the, with all the weirdness factors to where it's like, am I going to play this game? Yeah, but I know literally nothing. And it sounds like they want me to know nothing about what is going on here, except for the fact that we have werewolves. It's the only thing I know about is that we have werewolves.
By the way, just so you know, it's that character is a throwback to a former character in an older Resident Evil game.
Is he? Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's why I didn't.
That's okay. The whole thing was, I don't remember what Resident Evil game it was, but it was it's a meme in the Resident Evil community where every time you talk to him, he's like, "What are you buying? Is your wallet for sale?" Like he'd say stupid shit like that.
So then that means nothing.
Yeah, it's basically more or less just kind of a nod to the fans of like, hey, this guy's coming back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because, yeah, yet again, I saw that the Resident Evil, the last one, I'm trying to think before Biohazard, that I played was like Resident Evil shit. It was on the Wii. Oh.
I don't remember that Resident Evil.
It was on the Wii. Fucking, because the only reason I played it was, that it was like, oh, cool, I get to like shoot a gun and stuff, and fucking moving on the fucking Wii controller was fucking horrible.
Surprise, the Wiimote's not meant for playing actual games.
I think it was
Who'd have thought about it?
I think it was Resident Evil 4. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 I played on the Wii. So what, 2005 was the last Resident Evil game I played before I watched Markiplier play Resident Evil Biohazard. So like for me, I probably will check this out because I did like Biohazard. And it'll be interesting to see what it kind of brings to us. The next one's just kind of a mention. And Soapy, I'm going to ask you this question that I had during the showcase. Would have been nice to have an Xbox guy there to answer my question.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, all right?
So Devil May Cry, they announced that they're going to come out with the special edition for Devil May Cry 5. It looks great. However, my thought with this is we already know about the game because it came out like a year ago. My question to you was, when it came out, wasn't Devil May Cry 5 a Xbox exclusive? Or am I smoking something?
I think you're smoking something, home dog.
Okay. I could have sworn Devil May Cry was an Xbox exclusive.
No, it was... Devil May Cry has never been an exclusive game.
Okay.
It's just, it's always sold a lot more on PlayStation, but it's also because PlayStation's market kind of has a lot more like Japanese influenced games.
Okay.
Mostly because it's almost like the company's Japan.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of these are Capcom games too, which is a Japanese company.
Yeah, so they've always had the Devil May Cry games on there, and they've always sold more. I think it was just with the Xbox, it was DMC5 was shown for them. I think that's probably why you may think it's an exclusive.
Okay.
Because this guy even points out that he has 2 Devil May Cries on his PS4 right now.
Okay. Yeah, I could have sworn something that it was like, I thought there was something that was like a deal between Devil May Cry 5 and Xbox. That when I saw it, I was like, huh, is it a big deal that we're getting a special edition for PS5? But I guess it is, because you can play it digitally day one for the PS5. Some of the other stuff, Soapy, that I think we can just run through is we got Oddworld Soulstorm Didn't really get a lot with it. We got kind of a little cinematic. We got a funny little thing at the end where the main character is talking to like all the guys that follow you through the game. But really, to me, didn't get anything that we hadn't seen before. Looks like an interesting game. Demon Souls was also shown, but as I was watching it, I didn't say this out loud during the reaction, but I thought in my head, it's like, all right, looks like a Demon Souls game. Just looks like a Demon Souls game. I thought it was going to be that, I always fuck up the name, like Project Anthea, the one that, because they showed like PlayStation Japan was working on this. And my first thought was, oh, is this like I think it's Kojima that's working on that project, Anthea, for PS5, specifically made for PS5 is what they say. So like Demon Souls also was like it looked like Demon Souls. The one that kind of made me go, huh, okay, it's called Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And it was an entire trailer, about a minute trailer of the creepy, it kind of sounded like Baby from, I think it was Sister Location, where she's talking to a kid like, hey, come on out. It's okay. You don't have to be scared. I lost my temper. Come on out. We can play a game. It's okay. Everything's fine. And at the very end, you hear like a voice that kind of sounded like the nightmare version of Freddy. And it was like, I think she's found us. And then boom, FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, Security Breach. Is it interesting that, like, am I the only one that is like, a Five Nights at Freddy's game on a PlayStation? I'm interested about this.
We have all the Five Nights at Freddy games on Xbox, so you know.
No, I know that, but like I've always thought as FNAF as like a computer game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, yeah. Well, because it always launches on the computer first.
But like to have a exclusive, because this is going to be Security Breach is going to be a PlayStation console exclusive. So you'll get it on 5, you'll get it on 4 even as well. To me, maybe it's because every time I've experienced Five Nights at Freddy's, it's been through a computer that I was like, really? A PlayStation exclusive that's Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, I mean, that's weird, but it's not weird enough for me to be like, man, what are they doing? I mean, I guess I can go through and briefly touch on these ones. Oddworld, I literally saw like the first 5 minutes of that trailer, and by 5 minutes, I think the trailer's like 2 minutes long or something like that. But I saw the guy who looked like he was the fucking meat grinder head, and I'm like, okay, no, that ain't for me.
You're like, I'm
off the bat. I'm like, that man looks like he has Play-Doh coming out of his face. I can't watch this. Five Nights at Freddy's one, I don't like the Five Nights at Freddy's games, so didn't really interest me much. Demon Souls is obviously the one I'm most excited for. Also, because guess what? It's not a PlayStation exclusive, because guess what? It's launching on PC. So, boom. I just get the fucking, if I ever get a PC that's decent, I don't have to wait a whole year to play Demon Souls. But even then, I'm also not going to play it anyway. Because I've already played Demon Souls before.
Yeah.
Because this is just a remake of the first Souls game, aka Demon Souls. So,
yeah, I mean, I saw them and I was like, okay, looks the same. The PlayStation Plus collection, I think is a nice touch that they're doing. It's not really groundbreaking, but it's a nice touch that they're saying, hey, if you're a PlayStation Plus person, you're going to have to play this to play online anyways. Here, let's give you a bunch of the best PlayStation 4 games that you can just have for free. Things like Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Last of Us Remastered, God of War. I'm trying to think what else they had in there where you get all these games day one on the PlayStation 5. You don't have to, like, I said it on the live reaction, like, me and this guy are kind of at a loss because most of the games they showed, I was like, have it, but haven't played it. Towards like I've already given PlayStation my money for them. But it's nice for people who it's like, oh, I didn't get to buy that game, but now I get to play it because I get basically to have it for free because I have PlayStation Plus. And then Soapy, the big one. And I was just able to find they just put up the trailer for it on IGN. I'll copy that link really quick so that you have it on your side. It's not long. It's like a couple seconds. The very last thing they showed, and at first I was on the right track. Like, I've got fucking Demon or Sean, Philly Sean, in the chat saying like, oh, how did you not know? It is what it is. Oh, I had an idea of what it was. I just second guessed myself like I usually do. All the trailer was it was the symbol from God of War. I thought that's what I was looking at. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? They said they weren't going to give us God of War. Maybe it's Valhalla. Then this guy in the Twitch chat saying like, oh, it's a Viking game. And then we find out that they are making God of War 5. It is called Ragnarok. And holy shit, it is going to be coming in 2021. So for me, this was one of the things of the get hype moment. Holy shit, God of War 5 is coming. It's going to play into Ragnarok. We're going to continue the story that we saw before, and we are going to get it in 2021, less than a few months away. I'm assuming, let's see, when did the original God of War come out? The last one, I should say, not the very first one. God of War, PS4. That came out, what month? Blah, 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 blah. I want to say it was like March. No, April 20th. 420. I'm assuming same thing. Around March, April, maybe May. Boom, we get God of War 5. We get Ragnarok. Holy shit, I'm pumped for it. Soapy, any thoughts on this and how they kind of lied to us? Because it kind of seemed like... everyone's like, oh, we're going to see God of War. And they're like, nope, nothing to see here. And I can't believe I bought into the lie.
I mean, I'm excited for it. Like, this is like the only PlayStation exclusive I actually really care for.
Is this enough to sway you, Soapy?
No. I'm not spending $500 for one fucking game.
But you can spend $400 on one game.
Yeah, I'm not spending $400 to play one game.
But you can play, most of your other Xbox games on PlayStation with Sean, Jake, and I.
No, absolutely not.
We'll still get to play Call of Duty together though, and Borderlands because those are going cross-play. So it's not like we won't be. Like, that's the thing. Philly Sean was saying yesterday, oh, I don't know, depending on the day, I don't know if I'm going to get the Xbox or the PlayStation because he's like, I'd want to play with Soapy. And I was like, guys, the games that really matter, Soapy's going to be playing crossplay with us. Like, yeah. Black Ops is crossplay. Borderlands is going to be crossplay. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then you still get to play fucking Spider-Man, Ragnarok, all these games that Soapy doesn't want anything to do with, that we want to do with, and we could play it on PlayStation. So this showcase, I think it was a win. This was a complete win for PlayStation. Top to bottom was a great, like, the duds were in there, and I'm saying duds by like ones that I wasn't hyped for. Oddworld, Demon Souls kind of was the valley for me, but there were so many peaks. Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Ragnarok at the end. We finally get the price. I'm jealous of this guy because he said he just ordered his PS5. I have to wait because after he said that, Soapy, I was like, ooh, I wonder if I can pre-order it now. They will be available for pre-orders at select places tomorrow. I am definitely pre-ordering my PlayStation 5 tomorrow. I can't wait to play this. It's a great time. Your pre-order for Xbox, you said, is the 27th, right?
22nd.
The 22nd. So see, I was trying to push it far away. So that means I'll get to pre-order my PlayStation tomorrow. You'll get to pre-order your Xbox next Tuesday. I know this guy, for you, it technically is tomorrow. That's why I hate you right now, because you're living in the future, as I am living on September 16th. You're living in September 17th. But yeah, no, this was a great showcase. It was exactly what I wanted and then some from PlayStation, and I'm very happy about it. But that is going to do it for MVP Games Live today. Little announcement I didn't make before the show. I'm going to put out a YouTube video about this. We're changing the time for Games Live. So most of you here watching it live, that's why I'm making this announcement. And then on YouTube, you guys can, maybe now you can be able to watch it. But we're changing the time for Games Live. Usually it would be after MVP Sports Live. But now we're going to do it before. So we're going to do Games Live about, what would it be? It would be 2 Pacific, 2 Pacific, 4 Central, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So, sorry, this guy, you can figure out Australia, what time that would be. Pretty much be right now. This would be what we're doing because usually it's Soapy and I don't run over by much. Dave and I have been usually starting Sports Live around 5 o'clock anyways. So, yeah, we're just changing it just a little bit because of different schedules and stuff. So, Games Live from now on will be 4 p.m. Central, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern time, and then Sports Live will be right after. With that, I want to thank all of you for watching this. Make sure to join the Discord, link down below in the description, !Discord and Twitch chat to get that link to join the Discord to talk to everyone in the MVP family about everything that we love, TV, movies, games, non-entertainment stuff like sports. You can also support us, patreon.com/MVPvids. And thank you to our Patreon sponsors. Patreon sponsors, Pat Hill and Philly Sean. Yeah, the suppositories, man. Pat Hill and Philly Sean. And then last but not least, we are on Twitch Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. But we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. So go and like and subscribe and follow us at both locations. That's going to do it for Games Live today. Soapy and I will be back tomorrow for another jam-packed show for MVP Games Live. Sports Live is going to be coming up right now, right after this. So stay tuned for that. And as always, have a good day, everybody.